Hello, everyone. Welcome in. This is Cynthia with your daily tarot card of the day. And this week we are using the Medicine Woman Tarot. I have information about this deck in the description box below. I'm going to take a moment to tune into Spirit to bring you messages for the general collective energies of the day. Because these messages are general and for the collective, they are also timeless. So whenever you happen to find this video and you decide to click on it and watch, there's likely a message here for you. But take what resonates and leave the rest of it behind. You're invited to tune into your own intuition, higher self, inner guidance, spirit guides, however you tune into source of infinite wisdom. And whatever card pops up, see if you receive your own messages and insights. Okay. One more shuffle and cut. Apprentice of Arrows. Page of Swords in traditional tarot. With the apprentice energy, there could be something about learning or gaining new information, learning or practicing a new skill, or doing like a little bit of research. I just heard, I'm subject to this, I don't know how many of you are, but I just heard, be careful of going down the rabbit hole. So, you know, sometimes when there's something and we're like, oh yeah, or I need to do this or I need to do that. And you're like, how do I do that? And you start looking into it. You know, sometimes you start breadcrumbing yourself and you end up in, you know, suddenly an inordinate amount of time has passed and you've been inundated with so much information that not only can you not proceed forward, but you can't sort of process what it is that you've learned. So there seems to be some kind of like pay attention to yourself in that regard. If you start doing research or looking something up, what have you, watch, especially if you're prone to it, watch how far you take it. Be very clear on your intent before stepping into, I need to know this. And so when you go ahead and do it, if you get an idea or if you have another question, jot that down on a note paper, reassess your situation, and then, you know, proceed forward rather than sort of breadcrumbing yourself into, again, what we refer to, quote unquote, as the rabbit hole. So with apprentice here, I'm getting that energy of new skill, new information, possibly doing some research or looking into something in order to sort of flesh out a plan or an idea or something of that nature. The equivalent being the Page of Swords. The pages are not just novices and apprentices, but they are also messengers. And so there could be, again, and it could be information that you could receive a message or you could receive news or a visitor of some kind or something of that nature. Communication going on, but I don't know that necessarily, it could happen for some, but I don't know that it's so much somebody coming into your office or coming into your space or knocking on your door kind of visitor. It seems almost like more of a long distance communication. And it feels like, phone call, text message, email, that kind of a thing. More so. So you could be receiving a communication or need to make a phone call or send that email, something like that. So for whatever reason, there's a certain amount of like administrative legwork that today's energy holds. Now, on a more like creative and open side of things, again, this could be having a good idea, needing to make a plan of action and doing a little bit of research, or needing to, connect with someone. There's also something here. I don't know if verification is the right word. That wasn't the first word that popped into my head, but it's almost like double checking sources or resources. So if you received a communication or an email that gave you an idea, you needed to look into something, and then it's almost like you need to have that discerning sort of critical thinking eye when you're looking at information. 2 to 3 sources of information should be good enough if you're, being careful about where you're getting your information from. So I'm getting something about like double checking something, and not to go outlandish with it, but again, just to have a couple of different perspectives that allows you to make your own best decision. And for some of us, this could be it seems kind of like a heady day. So it's almost like the tasks at hand. If you're doing things, if you have a lot on your schedule or on your plate, you might need to sift through that and say, does this really need to be done today, or can it wait? Or does it even need to be done at all? Is that busy work that I threw in there to fill in time because I'm fidgety, right? So there could be this level of assessing where you're putting your energy and attention, especially if you're feeling overwhelmed and you're getting stuck in like I don't know if it would consider it being like a freeze, but procrastination or a hesitancy or a resistance of some kind. So there could be this opportunity, if you're feeling overwhelmed, that you might need to sift through with a very discerning and discriminating eye and say, this is unnecessary, that's unnecessary. Choose 3 things off of your list that are like the most important. And I mean, I don't care if one of them is, do the dishes, brush your teeth. Like there are some instances where we can be that overwhelmed where it's like those are the most important. When you get those done off of the list, then you can choose 3 more or 1 more or 2 more, right? So I'm getting like this step-by-step process and being very discerning with your energy, where you're putting your time and attention. And what you're responding to. Not every text message or email needs an immediate response. And it, especially if it's pulling us on an emotional level, allow yourself to get your headspace first. But again, so today's energy does seem kind of heady. It seems like there's a lot of communication going on. There could be ideas going on. That can include lots of, research or, inventorying resources and things of that nature. It doesn't seem like a full-fledged planning day. It seems more of like a clearing, opening, and gathering. So If you're feeling overwhelmed, you want to clear some of the clutter, whether that be out of your mind or off of your to-do list or out of your calendar. Or it could be an actual space. I mean, just the act of, clearing off a table or a desk or a smaller space, right? That can help us to sift through or calm our thoughts and kind of ease the energies around us, so that when we can sit down and we can step into work that needs to be done or something of that nature. So keep that in mind as well. But yeah, there's also not just this clearing, but also this gathering, like gathering of information, or again, inventorying or tallying up resources, or evaluating steps. Like this is a framework that I need to apply to creating a plan or strategy of some kind. So there seems to be, again, communication, new information, possibly some new skills. And it definitely seems almost like an administrative, right? You're trying to organize on a rather practical level what's right in front of you. I heard placement. So, trying to put things in place or gain some kind of a preparation, or again, sort of creating some kind of a framework to follow in order to engage in, whether this is like organizing sort of daily life to tasks and to-do lists, or whether this has to do with you want to get ready to, dive into a project, but you need to make sure that you have the tools that you need, the information that you need, the timing, right? So this is almost like a preparation. There seems to be some kind of a preparation here. Which then brings me to, for as much as this can be like a heady, intellectual sort of task or organized, administrative type of an energy, I'm also picking up on a deeper layer of spirituality here as well. Some of us with the energies, it could be astrological influences, could be just spiritual influences, collective energies on the planet, personal energies moving through your life, transitions, right? Autumn is a season of transitions. It's a season of tying up loose ends, wrapping things up, looking forward to new beginnings, closing out one cycle and preparing yourself for opening up a new cycle, that kind of a thing. So as of right now, I'm filming this during the autumn, but it doesn't really matter what solar season we're in, or where you are on the planet for that matter. Southern hemisphere, I'm in northern hemisphere. Southern hemisphere, they're going into springtime, right? Closing out the winter, getting ready to open things up. Whatever the case might be, it's that transitional moment where personally, in your personal growth, in your spiritual growth, on your healing journey, whatever path that you find yourself on, seasons of relationships, seasons of life, transitions, things of that nature, there's this energy of preparation of, again, you could be tying up loose ends. You could be closing out an old cycle. You could be completing a healing process or a healing cycle. You could be preparing yourself to level up, in which case this swords energy is talking about holding your presence, meditating, drinking plenty of water. There's something here about the nervous system. When I see swords energies, or in this deck, it's the arrows, that to me talks about the nervous system in our physical form, which not just the mental, emotional body, could be pain body, could be ego mind, logic, ego logic and ego creativity, right? Ego mind, left and right brained. So again, that whole nervous system is an electrical system. One of the reasons why human beings are, 78% water or more, apparently, is because our systems run with electric conductivity, right? So making sure that you're drinking plenty of water, making sure that you have electrolytes in your system, which are the minerals and salts, potassium, magnesium, calcium, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not a doctor, so don't take my word for it necessarily, but go ahead and, research those things. Or if you yourself know anything about, your own personal well-being, that being hydrated is important and vitamins and minerals are important. That's something that we can all agree to. So there could be a focus on that, today as well, in terms of your health and in terms of processing not just mental, emotional energy and spiritual energy, but also having the physical wherewithal to get through your tasks through the day. And there we have it, Apprentice of Arrows, Page of Swords energy for today. And thank you so much for being here. I definitely do appreciate anyone who likes, subscribes, comments. I appreciate everybody. If you just watch and turn it off, it doesn't matter how you interact with the channel. But if you've watched the video to the end and you've received some insights or messages, then job done. I wish you all so much health and wellness and peace and blessings throughout your day and every day. And I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.